Alright, here it is, the new 2019 Chevrolet Bolt Stage 2. Now, when they first published the design for this car online, I thought, that's lumpy as all hell, who wants to ride in that? But, honestly, getting a close look at it, it's not so much lumpy as it is cozy and comforting. I guess just the round surfaces make it a little bit less dangerous looking, which is honestly, in a family car, what you want. Speaking of cool things, look at this. It's not called the Bolt for nothing. You know, honestly, these should have a competition between, well, these and the Union Jack brake lights for the new Minis. It'd be pretty cool. And of course, you got the Chevy badge over here. Now, buying a Chevy car nowadays isn't what it used to be. Chevy used to be known mostly for the Camaro and the Corvette. Now they're known for their family cars. And so, you know, it's not as much of a badass in your face badge as it used to be. And also has a little whiff of General Motors. But, you know, I like the texture. Texture is very nice on this, actually. Reverse sensors. Boom, boom, and boom. French parking. Moving on. Those little, these are plastic, surprisingly. And these are metal. Interesting. Blue is plastic. Silver is metal. Cool. Anyway, let's move on to the, oh yeah, over here. Where is plugged-in charging? Yeah, as you can see, it's not a gas vehicle. I'm still kind of annoyed they put the charging port here instead of maybe around the here part where it would normally go on a gas-powered vehicle. But also with a door configuration like this, that's only really to be expected. These mirrors, by the way. Hello, camera. These mirrors are awesome. Now, also, when I first heard that we were going to be getting the white version, I'm like, oh, great. The Prius there has white, and that thing looked not necessarily that great. Pardon me. But, yeah, no. I forgot. The Bolt has this really cool black trim. Look at this. It's like it's a trim. It's a full set of accent colors. It's amazing. It gives the whole thing a kind of sportier look, which is definitely recommended for a car like this. Also, like any good car, we have a face. This one, a very derpy smile. Let's move on to the inside of the car, shall we? Hello and welcome to the interior of the 2019 Chevrolet Bolt. Now, before we get started, I wanted to say one thing. I'm going to be reviewing this car with it turned off. That's because this is a Stage 2 version, and with this car turned on, it has so many features I want to review that it would take an entirety of another video to do so. So today, this is just the basics of the interior. However, I do want to show off one little digital thing very quickly. So, as you can see outside right now, it's actually plugged in. It is charging the vehicle. The adapter inside the garage is actually charging the vehicle. So I actually have to open and close the door to turn the sequence on again. I apologize for that. Anyway, yes. When you get into the vehicle for the first time, or because it goes sleep mode in a few seconds, or about a minute, I actually think. Anyway, point being, once you get into the vehicle, when it's charging, it will show this display. You get how charged the battery is in the vehicle, and how long it will take until it finishes charging. For us, it's 9:30 a.m. because we're using a level 1 charger right now. Hopefully the next week or so, we'll be able to get a level 2 charger. Anyway, moving on. The interior of this car. It's... Now, how should I put this correctly, I guess? I have one, honestly, I don't really have one complaint with this car, and it's the interior. It feels really cheap. It's plasticky, and let's be honest. We all know from reviews and the internet and just friends telling friends that the seats of the Chevrolet Bolt aren't very nice to sit in. And yeah, they really aren't. They're not very comfortable. Now, I never said the Prius was comfortable or anything, not by a long shot, but this, I would honestly prefer the wooden chair I sit in sometimes to play my Xbox. This padding is just firm and uncomfortable. And don't even get me started on the back seats. The back seats in the Chevrolet Bolt are not that great. Hello, welcome to the back seats of the Chevrolet Bolt. Now, yeah, problem number 1. Getting in, if you're somewhat tall, can be a bit of a challenge. But once you've moved away in here, it's actually a really cool view. See, this seat is actually way higher up than I'm used to. The Prius, you were about the same level as the driver, maybe just a little bit shorter, actually, when you're sitting in the back of a Prius. However, when you're sitting in the back of the Chevrolet Bolt, it is more comparable to an SUV, honestly, like a Subaru, because you're so high up, you can see everything, and hell, it actually makes the middle seat of the car interesting, and I like that. What I'm not a big fan of, however, is, well, how should I put this? Sitting on steel bars. Yeah, that's right, this thing is uncomfortable as all hell. There's basically this much padding between you and the metal undercarriage of the vehicle, which isn't a good feeling at all when you're going over speed bumps, or even on a slightly bumpy road, as I figured out today. Of course, you got a light up here, and that's because both doors are open. Yeah. Also, from here you can see all the glorious smudge marks that appear on your screen protector for the center console. Speaking of which, that's right, you get a full access center console. Pretty cool. This one is a bit rigid, I've been told, so I've been told it becomes smoother over use. You know, you just gotta break it in a little bit. But, you know, actually, it's done much better than when the Prius was. The Prius one was ugly out of place. This kind of reminds me of something you might find in a Lexus SUV. Pretty cool. But yeah, also, there is a surprising amount of vertical footroom. This with the seat all the way back, by the way, because these seats can go way back. But even with the seat in the forward position, I'll do it right now, there's not a whole ton of, I guess, horizontal legroom, I'll call it. Let's just, move you forward. Back to the back of the car we go. Awesome wheels, by the way, great rims. I mean, yeah, again, this is like also like no one that I know would sit with the seats that close to the pedals. So normally you get to maybe about this much footroom, which is not terrible, but it could be better. Again, the Bolt, surprisingly, even if it doesn't look like it from the outside, is described as a small car, and it's certainly not an SUV, but small, I would also say no. I mean, it's taller but shorter than the Prius that I'm used to, but honestly, overall, it's a pretty cool car. As I said before, though, I'm going to need to get some sort of gel pad for these seats because these ones in the back are just downright uncomfortable. And yes, it has a button release. Hello, reverse-facing camera. Welcome to the trunk or the boot of the Chevrolet Bolt. Now, again, it's a very deep boot, but just like with the footroom in the back of the car, it doesn't go that far forward. You can fit a good sized trunk in here, definitely, or maybe a suitcase or two. And under here you have a room for maybe a few potatoes and carrots, if you're so inclined. But apart from that, there's not much else. I mean, it's a trunk. It does its job quite well. Honestly, I can't think of what you want to do to this car to make it any better at carrying things, because it is actually very good at that. Like, a trunk is a trunk. You put stuff in it, you take stuff out, you close it again. That's all it's meant to do. It's not meant to have flashy lights or any space-age technology. But hey, unlike our Prius, these suspension systems do work in the back of this car, which is quite nice. And it actually has a functioning reverse camera and button system, which is lovely. And yes, those are actually available on the base model as well, even though this is the Stage 2. So, 2019 Chevrolet Bolt Stage 2. What do I think about it? Well, honestly, I did not have high hopes when we got this vehicle. I thought it was going to be lumpy and stupid like I saw in the commercials. But it's not, actually. It's well proportioned and looks really nice. The interior is cheap and the back seats can be described as painful, but apart from that, it's just a great all-around car. And this vehicle has not been on the road for that long, remember that. Of course, the Bolt series only started in 2018. The Volt had been going for a few years previously, but the Bolt only started last year. And of course, they're still making upgrades to it as we go on. In future years, I hope to see more Bolts that deal with the literal pain in the ass of this back seat. I'm seriously going to get a gel pad for that. It is freaking terrible back there. That ride is uncomfortable as all hell. But apart from that, I see no faults with this car. It's a brilliant little car, and I say little because it's called a small vehicle. It absolutely is not. It looks like a small SUV. But, yeah, you know, you get diamond lane access, ultimate stuff. And as I said earlier, these rims are simply fantastic. All in all, I think this car, pretty damn cool. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next video.